Today is a Snan Yatra day. In the Jagannath temple, they will be bathing the Lord Jagannath, and as usual they'll be pouring water, a lot of water. I think almost 108 pitchers. With that they will bathe the Jagannath. And then Jagannath and his brother Jagannath and Balaram, they like to play like Ganesha. So they will put the mask of Ganesha on Jagannath and Balaram. But as naturally as they were bathing such for a long time, they will feel sick. So then they will go to a separate room, and there they will take rest. The Lord will take rest for 15 days. And all these 15 days, he will take only medicine, that is called Panchama, boiling different herbs, a one type of liquid thing, and that the Lord will take, and that is the prasada. And naturally, less devotees, because who is going to? The most of the devotees don't go to take that type of prasada. So that is the whole thing. And on this particular day also, most of the deities, they will be bathing, cleaning. Actually, this is a wonderful time. This way, they keep the temple clean inside, everything they will clean up. 15 days time they get. And our Thakur also get the bathing, all water, and they will be cleaning the image, Thakur's image. And on this particular occasion, on this particular holy day, Dakshineshwar temple, and that was inaugurated. That is also very holy. And on this day, one of the very famous disciple of Swami Vivekananda, Swami Ishatmananda, it is his birthday Tithi Puja. Vivekananda ji is the first young man who came and joined as a sannyasi from outside in the Ramakrishna order. Because Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was having some disciples, all these 16s, they became sannyasi, monks, and then there were many householder devotees. But seeing these monks, of course, in those days, it was very difficult to understand, because there was no moat, they used to live only in a haunted house. Even then, a young man used to come. Of course, in the beginning, he used to come to get coaching from Swami Ramakrishna ji, who was very good in mathematics, to get the coaching in mathematics from that Swami. Their parents used to allow, it is good, the son will go and he will learn coaching, get the coaching, etc. But when he came, he saw, and slowly he decided that he will also become monk. Then they took him back, and naturally the parents kept him in a closed door room, but still he was meditating, he was not taking food. Then ultimately they agreed to allow him to become monk. And this is the Swami Vivekananda ji. He has a wonderful life. If you read, then afterwards he became the president of the Ramakrishna order, and the long beard, wonderful. The Shamlatal is a place where he practiced his austerities. He was in Advaita Asrama. Then it was decided that he should come to America in those days. But he wanted to avoid. He told, I won't go to America. But the president order, that time, Swami Shivananda ji, he issued the order naturally what to do. Then he was hiding in a jungle in a secluded place, that is Shamla Tal. If you ever go to that side, it's in Uttarakhand. It's a wonderful place. Now as an ashrama has come, as a Tal means a big pond, and Shamla, that is the blackish, so that he used to go on the top of the mountain. Still it is so difficult to climb. Before coming over here, I visited that. It's really very tough to climb that. And then he used to go and sit over that mountain. From there you can see the most of the part of the Nepal, the Gandaki river. He used to sit over there and meditate. Morning he will go, evening he used to come down. He used to carry little food and the drinking water, it would be there. So that way he was practicing meditation, and the whole Shangha, they were searching him, where he has gone. Then ultimately they were thinking that he is not returning back, there is no report, so what to do? Then suddenly they came to know from some of the villagers that there is a great soul. The village, all the time the words that reaches, the people will be gossiping, discussing, there is a wonderful monk, very austere, he is practicing tapasya. So people started visiting, so they came to know there is a monk. So other Swamis, they also came to see, and they saw this Swami. Afterwards, he himself agreed to come down to the plains, and he reached Belur Math, the headquarters. And the moment the president, Shivananda, saw him, he said, okay, he is a Brahma-jnani. So he realized the truth, the Brahma-jnana. So now it has become a beautiful the ashrama, the guest house, not much work, but only meditation. The devotees, they go, they can stay. So this is the Mayavati is a very good place. And one couple, Mr. and Mrs. Savior, Mr. and Mrs. Savior, they were British. They followed Swami Vivekananda all the way to India, and then Vivekananda wanted a place where Europeans will come. So that was the place they chose. They purchased and they prepared a wonderful ashrama, and they lived over there. Look there. Once they take up an idea, they live to that idea. And that Mr. Xavier, Captain Xavier actually, he was the captain in the British Army, and he passed away over there itself, and still they buried him over there. They cremated him over there, still it is there. And the Mother Savior, she still lived over there for long. When she became very sick, the monks forced him to come down and send him to London back, like this. So this is the wonderful places and the incidents. Now, in the name of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, all people are coming, and they are accepting his ideology. They are accepting his philosophies. They are getting joy in practicing. But what is that philosophy? When we read, the last time in our last class we have discussed about the sannyasa. This is the highest ideal. The human soul is traveling, and in the beginning we find that it is only this world that he can see, he can touch, he can feel, that is only he is accepting and nothing else. And slowly, slowly his thinking capacity is developing. And when capacity is developing, he is discriminating, analyzing, and then slowly, slowly. And this is the development you find ultimately sannyasa. So afterwards, they made in 4 stages of life. The first is the brahmacharya, then garhastha, then vanaprastha, then sannyasa. There's a lot many descriptions and the definitions of sannyasa is there in the Bhagavad Gita. It is also there in the 6th chapter, which says who is a sannyasi. So this way, but the sannyasi is the highest. In the Mahanirvan Tantra, the Shiva is giving these words, Brahma Jnane Samappanne Virate Sarva Karmani. Now, when you become a real sannyasi, what happens? You realize Brahman. Brahma Jnane Samutpanne. When that Brahma Jnana, the knowledge of Brahman, dawn within you, you cannot do any work. Then, Virate, it's all stopped. What? Sarva Karmani, all type of work. We cannot think of anything else. When we do work, we are working or thinking about others and all this, that is only when we are thinking that we have to do something. We have to achieve something. We have to get something. In the Adhyatma Vidya Nipunaha Shanyas. And similarly, they should take otherwise not. This certainly is because some people, they will just put on a deriva and then they will be declaring that I am a sannyasi, etc. That is not good. And most of the UP and other places, I went to Rajasthan, a very good family. They were local kings, and they took me, still the Havelis they call, the wonderful houses, that is still there. And they took me to all those places. They are very, very rich people, still now. And they were telling that their grandfather, he became a sannyasi, he lived over here, etc., etc. Great respect for the grandfather. And the whole family also following, asking others also to follow. They took me there. There's nothing wrong, it's good. But the sannyasi is a different type of thing. The stages that they said in the beginning, it was all right. But it says that you have to have that knowledge. That we listen from Sri Ramakrishna. This is the description that we find today as a chapter. It has been named by the translator, Advice to the Brahmas. Sri Ramakrishna was visiting Balaram in Calcutta. This was the unique thing that in the life of Sri Ramakrishna you find. Most of the other avatars, they never did like this, particularly just before Sri Ramakrishna, 500 years before Sri Ramakrishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he never visited. And he even liked to also, even if his disciples are visiting, he used to shun them, he used to tell them, go out from here. But Sri Ramakrishna is just opposite. He is trying to develop this householders' lives also. So this God himself is going and visiting the devotees' houses. Those who have already read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna and read this Kathamrita, they know with so many people in Calcutta and around used to go. And here he is coming to Balaram. He was a very rich man, he was a landlord, this Balaram Bose. But very humble, very devoted, very dedicated. So Sri Ramakrishna used to like him. And he is coming, and along with Sri Ramakrishna, always used to take some of the disciples, known people, Naren, Rakhal, etc., etc., he used to take them to introduce with the devotees. Why? Because Thakur knew afterwards something is going to happen. That plan was already there. He knew what is going to happen. So he was introducing these young people. Otherwise, Balaram, then other Ramchandra Datta, they are all senior people. They will never listen to these young people. That's why Sri Ramakrishna himself was taking them and introducing and telling, feed them now and then. That will confer on you the merit of feeding holy men. Look at it, how he is introducing. This young boy, only 16, 17, 18, that is the age group. And they are all students. Sri Ramakrishna is taking them and asking these people to feed them now and then. and he will get the merit, because he knew that they will become all sannyasins. The master wanted to hear Narendra sing. Wherever he went, he started with a song and then picked up a question, answer and discussion. And Narendra, as because he was a very good singer, he asked him to sing. Narendra sang total 5 songs he sang on that day. And then another young man, Bhavanath, Narendra's friend, he also sang another song over there. And then afterwards, master, he was inquiring about another young man whom he used to like very much, that is Rakhal. But the Rakhal Maharaj, who afterwards became the first president of the Ramakrishna order, Swami Brahmananda ji, he used to do japa, he used to practice japa all through the night, all over the night. So that's why in the daytime he used to fall asleep. When he heard the Naren will sing, so he took that opportunity and went in some corner and he was sleeping. And he was inquiring about the Rakhal, but devotee said, he is sleeping, sir. And said, once a man went under his arm. You know, in the villages, they carry their own seat. So there is nothing to sit, so they carry the mat, straight and sit. So he went. Then afterwards, hearing that, he went and hearing that time before the performance began, it was all over. So he went to see the theatre, but he slept all through. He woke up and then he returned home with that mat under his arm. So the purpose to come and listen all the time and then. So that is totally different. But most of the people, what they do, they could go for a particular purpose. Without attending that particular purpose, they'll be doing something else. In the meantime, to converse with them. The gospel is fine. He is talking with the Brahma Samajis because very educated into the Brahma Samaj. Say that the same Hinduism in a different new mold, and they called it Brahma Samaj. And in this Brahma Samaj, they are educated people, they have come to Sri Ramakrishna. That is also a special thing. The Ramakrishna mission always, this ideology, this philosophy, these practices appreciated and can be understood by educated people. Because it's broad. If you go and they say, okay, you come, and they will burn the lamp and they'll show, and they will take it before you, you are touching the fire, and all these things that we see normally, that is easy to understand. You go to the temple, it happens like this. But when you come over here, nobody is here to do any puja. Whatever you bring, you keep over here. And then sometime it will be offered, you do not know when, and you are not getting any prasad, just go give and then sit and meditate. One boy came and he told, I like to learn meditation. I told you have to practice yourself. Who will teach here? So that way, that is a separate time, separate way we do. So totally different. Only we discuss and discuss. Why? That is the system Ramakrishna introduced. Why we are doing this? And the moment we realize that, the moment we Sri Ramakrishna, he is asking, that gentleman came and he was asking, sir, have you Panchadashi? And Shankaracharya, he has written Panchadashi. It's a beautiful book on Vedanta. Now, the master, Sri Ramakrishna, he never read all these things, but he knew all the truth of these books. Now, he is taking that to that mind of that. At first, one should hear books like that and then indulge in reasoning. So this is religion. We go on reading so many books. We can chant from so many books and we can do so many things. But actually we do not go too deep to the original thing, and that is understanding the truth by discrimination. This is very simple. Practice. What is that? Incentive. Another is that just like this. No value. But why? Within this, there is something which is so precious, but you do not understand that. So we have to discriminate. How? By seeing. First hearing, then seeing all the changes and looking at yourself. This also changing. Someday all these things will go away. So this discrimination will take me to a place where I will never be attached with all this. That is the truth. That is the real process of religion. Sri Ramakrishna is, then he was singing in Bengali, Jatone hridaye rekho adorini Shama Maki. Cherish my precious mother Shama tenderly within, O mind. You have to keep the mind. Shama means the only one name he told. You have to keep the God or the Atman or the Brahman or the truth within your heart. And within your heart means in your thought, constantly. So this is the truth. And all other things which are changing. One should hear this in the early stages of spiritual discipline. He is referring about himself. Because some of the people, most of the people, they used to wonder how it is the Sri Ramakrishna, who has not attended any school, who was not under any guidance, who has not read any scripture, why should you go and listen to him? So he is giving indirectly and this hint to understand that those who have realized God, they don't bother about reading all this, because that knowledge is already within, and the divine, that power whom he used to call as Mother, is giving the supply. In the beginning of this book, you must have noticed, those who have read, that when the first Master Masha came, he was also the MA in those days. So naturally, how many books one person has read, that was criteria to understand whether a person is a knowledgeable person or not, educated person or not. Even today, when you go to a group of people, educated people, they'll be referring different books. Oh, that book, have you read? That's a wonderful book. This thing, that thing. If you can't, then they will treat you, oh, he's an ignorant person. That means only referring. You have to, at least, if you don't read the whole book, the preface, you have to have some idea. Then you can say one or two words about that. And then you have to tell, so this is the thing. Unless and until you mention some of the names, they will never accept you. But the real, the original, the truth of spirituality, doesn't bother about this. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning that. The first you read, all hear, and then go deep to that. A child spells out, then he is immediately, as his own, as is natural, he is telling, a child spells out every word as he writes. But later on, he writes fluently. Look at it. So what is religion? Swami Vivekananda said afterwards, religion is realization. What is that realization? The truth. What is the truth? That I and everything that I see is nothing but the manifestation of the same God. If I call Allah or Jehovah, consciousness is the manifestation. The moment we realize that, that is the ultimate knowledge. And you don't need anything. You need not to quote from here and there. Only this much is sufficient. Mere reading of this, thousands and thousands of philosophy teachers are there, professors are there. They are studying philosophy. They are teaching philosophy. Whole life doing that. But they have not understood anything of that philosophy. On that. They can explain nicely, but the truth of the philosophy is what? Only three, as I always say. The creator, the creation, and the relation between the creator and the creation. That's all. Today morning, a group of young people came. They will at the end of their trip taking an idea of groups, how they live, etc., etc. So, and she married an Indian gentleman, so is having some idea about the Hinduism. These are the things I was telling her. See, when they are coming, it's very good. But the true religion is this. The moment you reach to that, there's no problem. And here a devotee described the convocation of Calcutta University, saying that the meeting looked like a forest of human heads. Look at Sri Ramakrishna. He was describing the invocation of the Calcutta University. In those days, it was a very famous university, and naturally all people used to go, and it was a prestige for those who used to live in that society to go and attain that, to get an invitation to attain. And naturally many people went, and he was describing, have you noticed, all sorts of things, people are coming and talking with Sri Ramakrishna, and immediately he is giving a mold to the spiritual way. Immediately he said, the feeling of the divine is awakened in me when I see a great crowd of people. See, what and what? Now, this person was talking about the gathering of people because of the convocation. The graduation ceremonies were going on. They used to put on the special type of dress and all this. But Sri Ramakrishna is telling, when so many people are there, naturally the manifestation of God, whether they understand or not, each and every soul is nothing but the divine, the divinity, all coming together small, small. Suppose the small, this lamp is burning. Now all the hundreds of that is a big light. Similarly, for a spiritual person, the moment he sees so many lamps are burning, so that is an inspiration for him. He can see in that fashion, in that manner. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna, the moment he heard about this, he was no, forget about that, you have, no, nothing like that. He was encouraging, but he was giving a new turn to this. Feeling of the divine is awakened in me, in Sri Ramakrishna, when I see a great crowd of people. Had I seen that meeting, I should have been overwhelmed with spiritual fervor. So that is Sri Ramakrishna. And the next day was a Sunday. Many people are coming to meet Sri Ramakrishna. That Manilal Mallik, a businessman, he also came. So the conversation is going in that. Recently he has visited Benares, where he owned a bungalow. And Sri Ramakrishna is inquiring from him. So these are the special thing. We always used to ask people, what have you seen that type, what is this, what is that, all inquiries. So Master, so you have been to Benares? Did you see any holy men there? He is inquiring about the holy men. Then Manilal, yes sir, I paid my respect to Trailanga Mahaswami and Bhaskarananda. Bhaskarananda was a very famous saint, and Trailanga Swami, you know. The Master, tell us something about them. The Manilal, Trailanga Swami is living in the same temple where he lived before, on the Manikarnika Ghat. These are all famous names of that place, near the Beni Madhav minaret. People say, now you see, people say he was formerly in a more exalted spiritual state. He could perform many miracles. Now he has lost much of that power. See the ordinary people. Always they try to find faults with like this. They don't understand anything. But they'll be always saying, commenting something, as because that Swami, he was in a different mood. It was not necessary. Immediately the Sri Ramakrishna is telling, that is the criticism of worldly people. The one should not look like that. Manilal, Trailanga Swami keeps a strict vow of silence. Unlike him, Bhaskarananda is friendly with all. Then he is telling Master, did you have any conversation with the Bhaskarananda? Manilal, yes sir, we had a long talk. Among other things, we discussed the problem of good and evil. He said to me, don't follow the path of evil, give up sinful thoughts. That is how God wants us to act. Perform only those duties that are virtuous. The Master said, yes, that is also a path meant for worldly minded people. But those whose spiritual consciousness has been awakened, who have realized that God alone is real and all else illusory, cherish a different ideal. They are aware that God alone is the doer and others are his instruments. Look at the difference. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna is rectifying, because some people are good, they are moral. But morality is not the ultimate, it is the spirituality. So Sri Ramakrishna is giving that boost. He is giving that immediately. Don't think only performing some good works will do. No, it is only a little. But actually, you have to transform yourself. How? By realizing that everything is nothing but God. And Ma Sharadamani Devi, in a very simple language, she said, don't criticize others, don't find fault with others. Whoever is doing whatever they are doing, let them do. Appreciate, because God wants that. Then afterwards, the conversation goes on. Those whose spiritual consciousness has been awakened never make a false step. They do not have a reason in order to shun evil. They are so full of love of God that whatever action they undertake is good action. They are fully conscious that they are not the doers of their actions, but mere servants of God. When Swami Vivekananda came here, and his all-American disciples, he was telling that we have to do in a group way, in an organized way, and Americans are very much organized people. Immediately they were telling, Swamiji, we have to sit someday and we have to make a policy, we have to make this, we have to do that. Then Swamiji told, I do not plan. I only follow the mother's command and perform that. So it is very difficult for ordinary people. But this is actually, we are discussing about the people who have realized God. They do not think what is going to happen now, because whatever thought comes within their mind comes only after the inspiration of God, otherwise not. They will never do that. Sometimes there are some stories that, like it goes in the different books they have written, their experiences. The one Swami Premananda Ji Maharaj, he was scheduled to go to Bangladesh, now Bangladesh, and people have come already to take him. Everything is ready, everything is fixed. He only went to Sri Ramakrishna's, the temple, old temple, to just bow down, and then people heard from below, he is having the conversation. He was alone, but he is having the conversation. He is telling, Ki bolcho? Jabo na? What do you say? Shall I go or not? He is asking Thakur. Can you imagine? Only Thakur's picture is there, still there, the same picture, same room. And he is asking Thakur, what do you say? Shall I go or not? You say, I should not. Okay, I won't. Then he came down and he said, I won't go, because Thakur is not giving the permission. Do you know, Maharaj, that everything is arranged, all programs, people will be there. Now you say, no, I am not telling. Thakur is telling, I won't go. It's very difficult to understand. So this way they were connected, so every time the guidance came from God. And that's why some thoughts are coming. And we have to go on praying to God. I am thinking in this way. Is it my thought? Then forget it. If you are giving me this thought, please help me so that I can perform it. And when the things are taking shape, constantly have to come and thank Him. Because of you only, all things are taking shape. And that is called submission to God. And when the submission comes, when there is a faith, God is there. Because of His wishes, I am working. So that is the main thing in the Bhagavad Gita. When the Arjuna was arguing, then the Sri Krishna is telling, Moi Vete, everything I have already done. That you see all this, what is going to take shape, it's nothing. All are already dead. Nimitta matra bhava sabhya sachin. You only become, just you are doing like that because I like you. I want that you get the name and fame. Arjuna is a great warrior. He did this. That is it. But everything is done already. So when that type of temperament is there, and we see in the life of Swami Vivekananda, after doing such a thing, a young man, only single person, what he did, it totally changed the psyche of the whole India. India, which was totally segregated, linguistically, religiously, culturally, and so many ways. And he unified the whole India in one go. And then after he said, I did nothing. He was not at all taking any credit. So that type of humbleness, and Sri Ramakrishna is telling this, fully awakened souls are beyond virtue and vice. They realize that it is God who does everything. And here they say, revered sir, who is giving you milk? And this story he is telling, I think I must read that as the way how he is explaining. There was a monastery in a certain place. The monks, this is also the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. Whenever he will say something, immediately he will give a support through a story, anecdote, so the people can remember. The only giving an advice, there is a chance for people to forget. But the moment they will say something, the story, they remember it. In the story, fully awakened souls are beyond virtue and vice. That is the advice. And then he is telling the story. There was a monastery in a certain place. The monks residing there went out daily to bake their food. One day a monk, while out for his alms, saw a landlord beating a man mercilessly. The compassionate monk stepped in and asked the landlord to stop. But the landlord was filled with anger and turned his wrath against the innocent monk. He beat the monk till he fell unconscious on the ground. Someone reported the matter to the monastery. The monks ran to the spot, found their brother lying there. 4 or 5 of them carried him back and laid him on the bed. He was still unconscious. Other monks sat around him and sad at heart. Some were fanning him. Finally, someone suggested that he should be given a little milk to drink. When it was poured into his mouth, he regained consciousness. He opened his eyes and looked around. One of the monks said, "Let us see whether he is fully conscious and can recognize us." Shouting into his ear, he said, "Revered sir, who is giving you milk?" "Brother," replied the holy man in a low voice, "he who beat me is now giving me milk." Look at it. But of course, in the eye of law, it will be difficult. The person who is helping will be arrested. But here we are discussing the mentality of a spiritual person. He can't see any difference. A person who beat him, made him unconscious, he is not a person, the same God. He was doing like that. Look at it. And that is called knowledge, and that is called love. Then Manilal said, "What you have just said applies to a man of very lofty spiritual state." And then afterwards, this is Master was going on asking. And the people of Bashirhat, Rakhal's birthplace, had been suffering from a severe drought during the summer months. Master to Manilal, he was a very rich man. See the master, the Ramakrishna mission, helping the poor. How? By going and begging and getting some help from the rich people and then giving to the poor people. And who started it? Sri Ramakrishna himself. Here we find he is asking that Manilal, just now he was talking with, Rakhal says that the people in his native village has been suffering seriously from a scarcity of water. Why don't you build a reservoir there? That will do the people good. You have so much of money, what will you do with all your wealth? He is asking the man to do. Manilal, of course, then the Master Mahashaya is commenting, Manilal was a calculating man. And though he had lot of money, the latter years, he set up an endowment of 25,000 rupees and for the maintenance of the poor student, etc., etc. Then he also helped to get. So this way, inspiring the people who could afford to help the others. By doing that, they are also getting the blessings of God. Master, you talk about the prema. One person has come and he is talking about the prema, and Master is telling, but is it such commonplace thing? There are two characteristics of prema. He was talking about the jnana, and suddenly when a person has come and talking about the devotion, the prema, immediately Master switched over to that, and he is giving, there are two characteristics of prema. What is that? First, it makes one forget the world. When you have that devotion, which is called prema, in that then you forget the outside world. The total devotion goes to God. We cannot imagine that. It makes one forget the world. So intense is one's love of God that one becomes unconscious of other things. Chaitanya had this ecstatic love. He took a wood for the sandal grove of Vrindavan and the ocean for the dark waters of Jamuna. Because for him, everything is Vrindavan, so the Jamuna and has no feeling of minus towards the body, which is so dear to man. One wholly gets rid of the feeling that body is the soul. That we see in the life of many different saints and sages also. Those who are practicing devotion, they are following the path of devotion, they are having this type of things. Mirabai, for example. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, but Mirabai also. So this is an excellent way. There are certain signs of God realization. The Master is telling now. The man who is longing for God manifest its glories is not far from attaining Him. Slowly, a person who is having those qualities manifested, then people can understand that he is going to realize God. Sometimes some people, they will be talking about the holy soul he has mastered and he has realized. But one has to understand by seeing his character. So here, Sri Ramakrishna is giving, what are the glories of the longing? That means, how we will know that he is a holy person, has realized God? First and foremost, discrimination, vichara. Then dispassion, not at all attached for name, fame, etc. Compassion for living beings, serving holy men, longing their company, loving their company, chanting the name and glories of God, and telling the truth. These are the signs of a holy person. And if these things are there in a person, that means he is going to realize God. That's for sure. That's certain. So these are the things. When that lady saint came to Dakshinesha, Bhairavi Brahmani, and she was, when she saw Sri Ramakrishna, immediately understood that he is not an ordinary man, but an avatar. And she wanted to have a discussion with other religious people and the Pandits so that she can convince them. And how she convinced them? Quoting from these, because these are the characteristics. It has been given in different scriptures, and particularly devotional scriptures, that these are the symbols by which you can understand a man has realized God or going to realize God. And he always tells the truth. When you see those signs of longing in an aspirant, you can rightly say that for him the vision of God is not far to seek. A devotee said, should one fast practice discrimination to attain self-control? He is asking a very practical question. Should one fast practice discrimination? I should not do this, I should not do that, I should do this, I should do that. Shall we go on doing this and then only we will go for practicing japa and so that we will get realization? Immediately he is asking it, that is also a path. Jnana yogis, they all say in the Shankaracharya, in the Vivek Chudamani, he refers this thing, that you have to discriminate fast. Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, these are the paths of the Jnana Yogi. And the master is telling, it is called the path of vichara, reasoning. Neti, neti, not this, not this. But the inner are brought under control naturally through the path of devotion as well. Devotion, why? Naturally. Already within us, the love for a near and dear ones, when that love takes the step towards God, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, the inner organs are brought under accomplished that way. It is rather easily accomplished. Sense pleasures appear more and more tasteless as love for God grows. Can all this done? Devotee says, how can I develop love for God? Then the master is telling, repeat his name. Very simple. Repeat his name. How can I develop love for God? He was talking about the love. The love means that he is having two particular things. One, that he forgives the whole world, even including his body. And these two things, and then here he says, repeat the name of God to cultivate the love. Repeat his name and sins will disappear. Thus you will destroy lust, anger, the desire for creature comfort, and so on. The devotee, how can I take delight in God's name? This is very important. Most of the people, we can think so much. The moment we are asked to come to Japa Jagga, I don't know how many will come. Sometimes some people go to Japa Jagga. A lot many people will come. Why? Because they're active. So they will come and they'll see, they will chant, and the book is there. So there's nothing wrong, but at the same time, quietly sitting and taking the name of Lord for 1 hour. How many people can do? Very, very few. So that's why, unless and until we develop love for the name of God, attachment for the name of God, it is impossible. So, how can I develop love for God? Repeat his name. How can I take delight in God's name? Repeating name is all right, but unless and until I have the love for that particular name, how can I take that? And then the master is telling, pray to God with an yearning heart that you may take delight in his name. He will certainly fulfill your heart's desire. That is the only way one can do. You have to pray to God, oh God, please bless me so that I can love you I can take delight in repeating your name. Do not take away that thing from me. So very simple today in this whole thing, find for us, he is giving us the direction that devotion is the easiest way to reach God. The Jnana Marga, of course it is there, but the devotion, what is that? The devotion, love for God. What is the love? Ramachandra is there. One gentleman came and he was telling, I have given the whole house, big house, they are having 15 rooms to the Ramakrishna mission in Allahabad. But now I am staying in only one room because my wife passed away long back, and one son and the daughter, they don't want anything. Then I told them, can I give the property to the Ramakrishna mission? They agreed. And they have given in writing also. So I have given. Ramakrishna mission allowed me to stay into that house. They are taking care of me. In one room I am living. But Swamiji, they have made one shrine in the ground floor. I am living on the first floor. How can I live on Thakur? The Thakur is below. How can I live over there? Look at it. Is it good for me? I told Thakur is everywhere. Because he is habituated to live in his own room. Now if he comes down, it will be difficult. And below all the ground floor rooms are now hospitals. Different doctors are coming and sitting and all. Now so many people, whole day they will come. He cannot live over there. That is good one for him. But I appreciated the way he was thinking. How can I? So I have seen sometimes some people, they will keep Thakur only on the floor. And when you are going and standing on the floor, it's the same level of your feet. You cannot. At least some little, that at least raised platform should be there where Thakur should be there. And when they are placing the photo, just on wood, on stone, they will place like that. How can one sit? We had to change all the chairs. Why? Because there is no cushion. And people sitting over their hard surface. And we are sitting over here in a cushion. I used to feel so bad. Every day, somehow, our devotees came forward, they donated. And of course, our all things are in your pocket. Our credit card only with you. So naturally, then I told, I will give you the cushioned chair if you donate. They donated. So this way only, but the feeling. How can God sit like this if He is not? So this is called love, feeling. The moment the feeling has come, you need not to get any guidance from anyone. You will understand. How can I stand like this and the God is sitting over there on the same level? No, He should be raised, always high. So these are the things Sri Ramakrishna is telling, and then he said, He will certainly fulfill your heart. So saying, the Master sang a song, very important song, in his sweet voice, pleading with the Divine Mother to show her grace on suffering men. And he says, Dosh karo nai go ma ami shakhat sholile dube mori shema dosh karo nai go ma. I sang this song because today Dakshineshwar temple was inaugurated. And today is the Tuesday. And Thakur said, on Tuesday and Saturday, Ma Kali is always very good mood, in a very good mood. If whatever you pray, she will grant. So, always remember, when Thakur said, it must be true, whatever the prayer on these 2 days. So this is, I am not blaming anyone, Mother. And he says, Oh Mother, I have no one else to blame. Alas, I sing in the well these very hands have dug. Shakhat Shalile Dube Mori Shama. I am sinking, I am dying because of my karma. The God's grace will save us. Now up to this today and the next day again. And before we conclude, let me tell you that the coming Saturday and Sunday this weekend, for the first time we will go to attend the book fair, the little fest, they say, organized by Chicago Tribune. This is a great opportunity for us to go out and mix with people and give them the Vedanta and Vivekananda. Our devotees will go, young groups of people, because morning 8 to 6 o'clock. So I told, choose those people who will be able to stand. From 6 to 8, it's a long time. And I will go half an hour, that's all. You have to do that. So everything is set, they will go, and we can also visit. This opportunity to show our ashrama, Vedanta, Vivekananda, it will be, but only thing, it could be better if our devotees could speak about the Vedanta and Vivekananda. So I wanted to meet them. Let me see, now in 1 hour it is difficult, and all they are coming from different places. But if they could properly speak about the books, so it would have been better. Now it's a first chance. Let us experimental. Let us see how it goes. So that is the one thing, and I pray on this holy occasion, so the blessings of God, particularly the Mother Kali, none by Sri Ramakrishna, come all on us. Now we will conclude with this prayer. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Dear devotees, friends, this night I am expecting, I think it should be 12 o'clock, our new e-zine, every 3 months we send our e-zine, it will be available. Please visit tomorrow or day after tomorrow, whenever. That new e-zine this time, again, very new ideas and the discourses are there. And I have kept one copy, hard copy, at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. Whatever we do, always the first thing to God. So though I don't know whether he'll be able to read English or not, but I believe that if he looks at that, immediately everything is right. So this new e-zine, Chicago Calling. If you go to our homepage, and there you will find that e-zine. Go and click, the whole e-zine will come, and this will be the, I think, 6th volume. Thank you very much. And today, because I was telling, again, someone of you have given